Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to solve day 27 problem of this month on Leetcode. Before starting, if you guys haven't subscribed my YouTube channel yet, then please go ahead and subscribe it. Now without any delay, let's get started with today's problem. So today I am going to solve problem number 514, Freedom Trail. Okay, so this question is asked in Google and many other companies like D-Show. Okay, so mark this question important. Okay, so in this problem we have given one string ring. Okay, and this string represents the code engraved on the outer ring. Okay, and another string key that represents the keyword that need to be spelled. Okay, and we have to return the minimum number of steps to spell all the characters in the keyword. Okay, minimum number of steps. Okay, so the first character of the ring is aligned at 12 o'clock direction. Okay, so this is our example, right? So this is my outer ring. Okay, so this is my outer ring. Okay, this is my outer ring, right? And initially the starting point of this ring is G, right? And this G is pointed at 12 o'clock direction. Okay, just treat this as my watch. Okay, so this is nothing but 12 o'clock direction. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. Okay, and we have to make this combination. Okay, we have to make this combination and only then we can open the lock. Okay, and okay, so this is clear, right? So for the first key character, okay, so first key character is G. Okay, and this G is already in place. Okay, this G is already in 12 o'clock direction. Okay, so we don't need to do anything, we just need to press the button. Okay, and pressing the button is one step. Okay, pressing the button is one step. Pressing the button is one step. Okay, so for the first key character G, since this G is already in place, that is at 12 o'clock direction, so we just need to press this button. Okay, so this is nothing but one step. Okay, okay, this is clear, one step. Then after that the next key character is nothing but D. Okay, so we now next key character is D. So now we need to rotate the outer ring, the outer ring of this watch, and we can rotate it in either anti-clockwise, or we can rotate in clockwise direction. Okay, or we can rotate in clockwise direction. Okay, so here just tell me we need this D. Okay, just tell me which is the best possible case, if I move anti-clockwise or clockwise. So tell me the best possible case where we encounter D first. Okay, so from this D, if I try to search for D, then see, this is the distance, this red color icon. Okay, from this D, if I move anti-clockwise, then this is the distance, right? So let's rotate our watch. Okay, so every time I am going to rotate my watch one step. Okay, so this is the 12 o'clock direction. Okay, so now when I move my clock anti-clockwise direction, so now O is going to come here at this position. Okay, this O will come here. Okay, I am rotating my outer ring like this, right? My O will come here. Then in the next step, when I again rotate this my watch, then my D will come at this position, right? This D will come at this position, 12 o'clock direction. Okay, and this is what we need, right? D at 12 o'clock direction, this is what we need. So this is one step, this is second step, this is third step, and fourth step is nothing but pressing the button. That's it. Okay, so we have pressed the button. Now we have completed all this, we have made this combination, right? And how many total steps? Total steps are 4, right? So I hope that you guys are clear. Okay, how we are getting the output, 4 steps. Okay, so now in our problem approach, we are not going to rotate this watch. Okay, we are not going to rotate the outer ring. Okay, so I am going to show you how we are going to solve this problem. Okay, so we need to take care of this as well. Okay, minimum steps, okay, anti-clockwise or clockwise, which is the best possible case, we have to take care of this as well, right? So now I hope that you guys are clear with this one. Okay, and yeah, now let's try to understand this with an example. Okay, so let's do one thing. I'm going to write code side by side, otherwise you guys will not be able to understand what I'm saying. Okay, so let's try to write the code as well side by side. Okay, so initially this is a ring given to us. Okay, this is a ring given to us, and now I am not going to rotate these characters. Okay, so I'm just saying that this is at index 0, and this will remain at index 1. This D will remain at index 2 only. This D will remain at index 3 only. This I will remain at index 4 only. This N will remain at index 5 only, and this G will remain at index 6 only. Okay, so now I'm not going to rotate. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here? Okay, so here two things first. This G is nothing but my ring index. Okay, this G is nothing but my ring index. Okay, this G is nothing but my ring index, and same way this is my key. Okay, this is my key, G and D. Okay, G and D, and this is nothing but my key index. Okay, key index, this is nothing but my key index, 0 and 1. Okay, so this is done. Okay, so now what we need to do here? Okay, so first of all, my key index, okay, if my key index is equal to 0 only, okay, key index initially is at 0th index only, right? And if my key length is also 0, then definitely we are not going to need any lock, right? We don't need to unlock, we don't need to use any button or anything. Okay, there is no pattern, door is already opened. Okay, so if my key index is equal to my key length, then in that case we have to just return 0. Okay, so I hope that this point is clear. Okay, now after that what we have to do? Okay, we have to iterate over this ring. Okay, this is nothing but a ring. Okay, listen carefully, this is our ring and this is key. Okay, so first we are searching for this G. Okay, we are searching for this G. Okay, so initially we have found that this character at index 0 is matching with the key character at this index. Okay, both are matching. Then we have to calculate the number of steps. So here since this is already at 12 o'clock, right? So this is nothing but this is my ring index. Okay, so this is already at my ring index. Okay, so we are not going to take any steps. Okay, we are not going to perform any steps. Okay, we have to just add one. Okay, just add one because we are pressing the button. Okay, we are pressing the button, and pressing the button is also one step. Okay, so we have to just press the button. Okay, this is done. Then after that I am going to search for this D. Okay, I am going to search for this D, right? So now I have to find anti-clockwise distance and clockwise distance. Okay, so initially my G is at this position and D is at this position. So what is the distance between these two? Okay, what is the distance between these two? The distance between these two is nothing but 2, right? Distance between these two is 2. Okay, so this is the process for if I move it anti-clockwise. Okay, so see, anti-clockwise, G, O, and then this D is coming. So this is nothing but for anti-clockwise. Okay, but if for the same D, okay, if I go in clockwise direction, then how many steps I need to take? Then the number of steps I need to take is nothing but what is the length of my ring? Length of my ring is 7, and what is the index of this D? Okay, 7 minus 2 is nothing but 5. Okay, and y5, so let's see y5. So here in anti-clockwise this is 0, 1 and 2. Okay, if it is anti-clockwise, then from here 1 step, and then from here it's 2 step. Okay, for anti-clockwise. Okay, OD, and this is how coming. For clockwise, from here I go this position, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, 4 step, and 5 step. Okay, so see, this is returning 5 only. Okay, so I hope that this is clear how we are going to find the distance both the cases. Okay, so both the minimum distance, we have to just find the minimum distance now. So we will find the minimum distance, and then after finding this minimum distance we have to press the button. Okay, so 2 plus 1 and previous one for this D, pressing D, 2 and pressing D is nothing but 4. Okay, this is how we have to solve this problem. Okay, so now I'm going to write the code. Okay, and side by side I'm going to explain what is happening in the code. Okay, so follow along. Okay, so first, okay, so this is a method find rotate steps. Okay, we have to find the rotate steps. Okay, so do one thing here. From here just return, I'm going to call one helper method, so let's name it as solve, and in this method you have to pass your ring index. So initially my ring index is 0. Okay, ring index, then I have to pass my key index. So initially key index is 0, and then after that just pass both the strings, ring and key. Okay, I am passing both the strings. Okay, this is done. Now let's define our solve method. Okay, so private int solve. Okay, so here what I have told you, first I am passing my ring index. Okay, ring index, and then I am passing my key index, and then I am passing my string ring, and then I am passing my string key. Okay, this is what I have explained, right? So I hope that this is clear until now. Okay, and one more point that I have explained, that if initially my key index, okay, you can say it like this, if my base condition, actually this is base condition, so if my key index is equal to the length of my key, okay, so initially key index is 0 and then key dot length. Okay, first case. Okay, if it is 0, okay, then we don't need to do anything, we have to just return 0, return 0. Okay, okay, so our key index will also change step by step. Okay, so first this is at 0, if this is at 1 and we have completed this key dot length. Okay, if we are reach at the end, then we have to just return 0 as well in that case as well, right? So this is just a base condition. Okay, so I hope that this is clear until now. Okay, so now this is clear. Now after that we have to just return one int value, na, right? We have to return the minimum number of steps, right? So here also, from here we are also returning one number only, right? So what I'm going to do here, let's create one variable int result and store the max value of integer in this, integer dot max underscore value. Okay, this is done. Now after that we have to run one loop. Okay, we have to run one for loop, and this for loop is running from I is equal to 0, and here I is less than ring dot length. Okay, what is the total length of this ring? Okay, I'm going to iterate ring dot length, and then after that this is a string, so I have to write it like this, and then after that I plus plus. Okay, and then we have to check if ring dot character at index I, okay, is equal to key dot character at this key index. Okay, for this key index. Okay, this key index, if here it's dot. Okay, this key index. Okay, the key index that we are passing. Okay, so here let me write key index. Okay, if it is equal to key index, then we have to count the total steps. Okay, so int total steps is equal to, okay, so see here in the total steps, first we have to calculate the number of steps. Okay, calculate the number of steps, like here from G to D we are going to calculate the some steps. Okay, but right now in the first both G and G are matching, so we don't need to calculate the steps. Okay, but in case if we are searching for D, then we have to calculate some steps, right? So for calculate steps, we have to check both the directions of, okay, we have to check both the directions, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. We have to check for the both directions, right? Whether anti-clockwise or clockwise, we have to check both the directions. Okay, so here before writing this, okay, before writing this here, let's write calculate function. Okay, calculate step function. Okay, so how I am calculating the steps. Okay, so we are just going to return the minimum distance. Okay, we have to just return the minimum distance. Is 2 is minimum or 5 is minimum, we have to return the minimum distance, right? So how we are going to return that minimum distance. Okay, so for that I am going to write one simple piece of code, private int calculate steps. Okay, and in the calculate steps, okay, so we have to calculate the steps from our ring index. Okay, what is our ring index? Okay, so I am passing one value as a ring index. Okay, this is done, int ring index, and then we have to pass I and we have to pass n. Okay, this is done. Okay, so here how I am going to calculate the distance. Okay, so I have to calculate my distance and I have to calculate my reverse distance. Okay, in opposite direction, what is the distance? Okay, I have to calculate these two values, reverse distance. Okay, I have to calculate these two values. Okay, so here, since let's say D is available, I am searching for this D. Okay, so D is available at this index I. Okay, so here I is nothing but the index at which I found this value. Okay, so if I is at this position, then what is the difference between G and D? 2, right? So what I have to do here, I minus ring index. Okay, I minus ring index. Okay, and here give the absolute of this. Why I am giving the absolute here? Tell me, just think why I am giving absolute here. Okay, so let's suppose this is my ring string. Okay, and this is B, A and C. Okay, so from B, okay, let's say this is my ring index. Okay, this is my ring index and I am searching for A. So if I move anti-clockwise, then after that this B, C will come at this position, right? C will come at this position and A is going to reach at this position and B is, okay, ignore this. Okay, ignore this. This is my ring index. Okay, so I am searching for A. Okay, if I move anti-clockwise, then I reach at this position. Okay, so see here, in for anti-clockwise we are moving like this now, in this way, in this way we are moving for anti-clockwise. So here I move at this position. Okay, then after that from C again I have to move this A now. I'm searching for A. Okay, from B I go to C, from C I have to go to A. Okay, this is the only way. So B is at index 1 and this is at index 0. Okay, so now here if I did this, okay, I is at index 0 and this is at 1. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. Okay, and distance is not minus 1. Okay, so that is why I'm going to use absolute. Okay, so this is one distance, that is nothing but I'm rotating anti-clockwise. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. Okay, simple enough, easy enough, from B to C and then C to A, but A is before this B. Okay, in the numbering 0 1 2, and we are not rotating our characters. Okay, we are just finding the distance. That is why I am taking the absolute. And reverse distance, here I have already explained, total length minus my distance. So what is the total length of my ring? So for that n is the variable. Okay, so n is nothing but the total ring index or total length of my ring. Okay, so that is why I am writing n here, n minus my distance. Okay, this is done. This is done, right? And then from here return minimum value. We have to return the minimum value, right? Math.min of distance and reverse distance. Okay, this is done. So from this simple function I am returning the minimum distance. Okay, so I hope that you guys are already clear, okay, with this piece of code. Okay, so simple, right? This is done. So here now let's complete this function. Let's complete this total steps. Okay, so in this int total steps I have to first calculate the number of steps. Okay, minimum distance, whatever I'm calculating. So here calculate steps, and in this calculate steps I am passing my ring index, then I am passing my I. Okay, so I is nothing but the position at which I found that number, found that character. Okay, I, and then in the n is nothing but my ring length. Okay, ring dot length. Okay, this is done. And total steps, we are counting total steps now, so I can add +1. Why? Because we are pressing the button. Okay, that is why I'm adding 1. This is done. Okay, and then after that again I am going to call this function recursively. Okay, for the next steps. Okay, so when I'm going to call this function recursively, so here I'm going to call this function recursively again and again, right? So now I am going to solve it for. So in the solve, first I am passing my ring index. Okay, so initially let's say there is one more element here, n is there. Okay, so when I found this d, then definitely my ring index is moved to this position. Okay, ring index is nothing but this is at 12 o'clock. Okay, that's the minimum, that's the minimum meaning of this value, right? This is a ring index. A ring index is always at 12 o'clock. Okay, so here when I find this d, okay, so definitely means that means my d is at this position. So now from this d I have to search for the next n minimum distance, right? So that is why this d is going to be my new ring index. So here in the solve we are passing ring index, right? So here right now for the next steps in the solve I am going to pass I here. Okay, so I hope that this is clear, right? I have passed I here. Then we are passing the key index. Okay, so for key index just add +1. Okay, because after d I am searching for n, right? So I am moving one by one step forward, right? So here I am passing key index +1. This is done. Then in the solve I am passing the ring and key. Okay, same way, pass ring and key. Okay, this is done. Okay, this is done. Then this is done. Okay, then here in the result just pass the minimum of math.min, and this is the minimum of result, previous result whatever we have stored, and total steps. We are calling recursively now, and that is why we are checking for the multiple possibilities. Okay, so we have to just return the minimum of total steps. Okay, this is done. Then in the end we have to just return result. That's it. So simple, right? But there is one twist here. Return result. Okay, now let's run the code and see if we have missed anything or any code issues. Yes, this is first code issue. Let's rerun. Okay, key is the string now. Why I missed this. Okay, let's run it. So all the test cases has been accepted. Okay, all the test cases has been accepted. Now there is one twist. Okay, so let's try to submit it. Let's see what will happen. See, 49 of 303 test cases has been passed, and you are getting time limit exceeded error. Okay, for this large input. Okay, so we are not using memoization here. Okay, so without memoization the time complexity is going to be O of what is our key length? Let's say it is m, and what is our ring length? It is n, so m raised to power n. Okay, so this is going to be our time complexity. Okay, so we are checking for all the possibilities. Okay, for each value in a key we are checking for the multiple possibilities. Okay, we are checking for the multiple possibilities. Okay, so for this particular g, okay, we are checking for the multiple possibilities again and again and again. We are not memoizing the already calculated values. Okay, so in solve method, if let's say in the next first time I have solved this method before, index in this index g is available and in this index d is available. Okay, so again next time when for solving some other sub problem, okay, we are calling a recursion. We are calling a recursion. So if we are passing the same inputs for this solve method, then again we have to calculate all this stuff. Okay, but we don't want to calculate all these stuffs. Okay, so for this I am going to use memoization. Okay, so let's create one variable here, private int memo, and here what is the length? 100, right? So here I am giving it new int 101. So this 101 for both my ring index and for my key index. Okay, and this is our main method. Okay, so in this let's write int row in memo. Okay, initially just fill arrays dot fill row with -1. Okay, I am filling all the values as -1. Okay, so this is done. And then here in our solve method, if memo of ring index and key index if memo of ring index and key index is not equal to -1, is not equal to -1, okay, then in that case we have to just return memo of ring index and key index. That simply means that we have already calculated, we have already solved this solve method. Okay, and here let's store this value. Okay, if we haven't already captured the result, so let's do one thing here. Let's store the value here. Return memo of this is equal to a result. Okay, so now let's try to run it. So all the test cases has been accepted. Now let's submit it. So see, our solution is accepted, right? So right now the time complexity for this problem is going to be this m into n. Okay, so this is nothing but my ring index into my key ring length or key length or max length. Okay, you can say. So m into n, and inside this we are also running one loop, right, for the ring. So you can say m into n square. Okay, m into n square, and previously without memoization it was m raised to power n. Okay, m is nothing but my ring length, okay, and max ring length, okay, for all the cases, and n is nothing but my key length, max key length. Okay, so I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem. And if you guys want the bottom up approach as well for this same problem, then just comment it. I will try to make a video on bottom up approach for this problem as well. Okay, I hope that you guys are able to understand today's problem, and if you guys still have any doubts, then please feel free to ask in comment section. Till then, keep coding and keep practicing. Meet you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye bye.